This living lesson is one I'm hoping to learn more myself, and it's one of the reasons I've just thought about it and thought, wow, I would really like to have a living lesson. And that is something that I don't know, my husband and I have been talking about it all the time. I'm the one who probably brings it up, or maybe he's bringing it up. But I found that it's interesting that two people can be going through the same thing or face the same situation, a very unfortunate situation, maybe one that's unfair, you know, and yet one will come out bitter and the other, they will become better. So is this living lesson is bitter or better? How will what happens to you affect you? Now, in thinking about it, it was just this morning, and I've been pondering this for more than a week, every day, all day. It was just this week that I realized, actually, maybe just today, that I realized that the women who have come to RMI, who had marriage issues, and came very bitter, angry. Some never get over it, and there isn't anything that we can do. It just means that from what we've witnessed and that he's done in our lives and also in the lives of the other women, that in order to be set free from that bitterness, it has to have more brokenness, until you're just at the end of yourself. And then you become better. And it's a lot of times through a lot of tears. It could be that you're at the very end of yourself. You can't do anymore. But I think about, for instance, I come from a large family. My mother and father had 7 children, or my mother, I should say, had 7 children. People always say, are all those really yours? Yes. I had 7 children. My mother had 7 children. She had the only difference in that she had 4 girls and 3 boys. I had 4 boys and 3 girls. And I am number 6 and have always loved children, always wanted a big family. And because of that, and knowing I wanted it from a young age, I constantly was watching not just my mother and how she raised us, though I did watch that. I was able to see what each one of my older siblings who married and had children, what they did and what produced fruits and what didn't. Now, I didn't think of it as fruits at that time. I'm thinking of it now. But what I liked, about this family, I wanted that. What I didn't like about this one, I didn't want that. And so I had all of this and I was mentally taking notes with it. But stepping back from that and then now being an adult, I realized that, and maybe it was because I was looking for the good and extracting the good from things, but I remember being surprised that some of the things that I did not take offense to, I didn't become bitter over, that my siblings, lots of my siblings didn't come away the same way, even though we both, two of us could have been experiencing the very same situation. One was left with bitter, and you could tell because they were talking about it in that way and talking against whether my mother, my father, or our family or whatever. And I think those kinds of situations where, and it's easy to get pulled into them when somebody's talking about it and then being pulled in. But I'm always astonished by that and how they could hold those feelings about that. And it wasn't because I was mature. I really have no, sure way to understand why is that. Why are some bitter and some, come out better because of going through that one thing? Now, one of the things I came to just thinking about the I and bitter and the E, I'm just going to lay this out here. It sounds pretty good. The I is, what about, it's the person, this I, me, it's all about me and how is it affecting me? Where the E is, more of he. What does he want from it? What did I want from it? That's the bitter. And, what did I want? And that self-centeredness, or it's, he or we, meaning when I say we, it's me with him, what does he want from it? How does he want us to come through? What does he want to show us? And I don't think it even is all in the believer. I think that you see, quote, successful people who have prospered, even though they've been knocked down over and over and over again. Why don't they become bitter? Why are they better from it? It is something to unlock. It's something that I want to have more wisdom on. But I just thought it was interesting, and I thought I'm going to lay it out there. And I think it's just something that you need to bring to your husband and ask him, because there could be hidden things. The heart is deceitfully wicked, and who can know it? Only God can, right? Who knows? God knows. And bringing it to him and say, is there any bitterness in me? Do I have bitter about anything with my parents, or any of my siblings, anybody in my past and I think some of it rooted in unforgiveness, not forgiving those, and realizing sometimes it wasn't even intentional, or, they had their intent wasn't what we thought. Sometimes I found with siblings who haven't forgiven me for something, realize years later it had nothing to do with me. I wasn't even the one, yet because they held on to this, they suffered for it, because I wasn't the one suffering. And that's the thing with somebody who's done something to you. Rarely are they suffering. You're the one suffering. And I think there's other living lessons about it. But I'd say go to your husband, find out what you're bitter about. If you are, in fact, bitter with anything, if it's from a lack of not forgiving, and let's all come out of every situation better because it happened, looking for the good in everything, because he said all things work together for good if they love God and are called according to his purpose. And what is his purpose for everything is for us to come out better, to have it be used for good, to have it used for a testimony. That's a huge reason that we need to come out of every situation better and not bitter. So I hope that you will take this to him, comment, share praise, post praise, and let's all share about this, because I think in today's world, like never before, people are bitter, they're angry, and worse, they're miserable. And it takes a toll on your health, emotional health, mental health, and also physical health. It takes a toll on everything. So thanks for listening, and be encouraged.